Let's be real. Sending money to home is love, but sometimes it's also an emotional blackmail. Today, I won't just tell you how to budget it, I'll show you how to do it without draining your peace, your wallet, and your future. I won't be giving you any hard answers. Instead, I'll give you insights. Most OFWs never get told this, but I'll break it down for you. How to support your family in the Philippines without overburdening yourself. Because hey, we don't just want to send money, right? We also want to build a life too. There was a 2024 research showing 42% of Filipino American adults reported sending money back home. That's nearly half. But how much do they send actually? Voila. There's no exact data, so let's be practical. I'd start by incorporating a budgeting technique called the 50-30-20% rule, where 50% pertains to your needs, 30% for your wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayments. Needs are your essentials, non-negotiables, or things you can't forgo. This includes your rent, mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurances, and transportation. Don't you ever touch this. Wants are your non-essentials, but they make your life enjoyable and worth living. These are your dining outs, shopping, your Netflix subscription, or your out-of-country travels. Lastly, your savings and debt repayments. It is a bucket for building your financial independence so you could retire early or at least on time. It includes your emergency funds, retirement and investment accounts like your 401k and Roth IRA. This is your personal peace of mind bucket, knowing that you have something set aside in case you will need one. And I'm telling you, you will need one, just a matter of time. This budgeting rule is not set in stone, huh? There are actually a few versions of it depending on one's priority. It could be 50%, 40%, 10%, where people do more of what makes them happy, but a bit slow generating wealth. It could be 50, 20, 30%. Some people just want to tighten their pockets now, generate wealth faster, hoping that they can retire earlier. If you'd ask me, what do I follow? I stayed on that 50%, 10%, 40%. Why? Because one of my earlier goals when I moved here in the US was to earn my first 100,000. Here's the situation. What if a relative or a friend asks you for help? Which budget or bucket do you dip into? No, Ed, they will not ask for money because they won't find me on Facebook. My name is spelled backwards. But what if they did? To help you understand easily, let's stick to that 50%, 30%, 20% budgeting rule. Let's say you belong to that 42% who remits money back home for your parents' basic needs or your siblings' tuition fees. It could be for a wedding or nephew's baptism. It could be from that former schoolmate who bullied you in high school and now asking for money. Diba? It could be for those random people popping off your DMs asking for some help. It could be your lolo's pangsugal. The list goes on and on and on and on. If I will decide to help financially, I would never, ever touch that 50% allocated for my basic needs. And oftentimes that 50% is just about the right amount of money to cover all of my expenses and all of your expenses too. Therefore, I have between my 30% wants and 20% savings and that repayments to juggle on. Ibig sabihin, sa pagitan ng 30% wants and 20% savings and debt repayments lang ako kukuha ng pera para sa ibang tao. Here's where most people mess it up, but I'll keep it real and simple. Your husband left. You ended up being a single mom. You've got $5,000 monthly as a nurse. The bills don't pause, and neither does the guilt trip from home. So let's break it down the small, guilt-free way. You got a net income of $5,000. 50% of that for needs is equals to $2,500. 30% for wants, $1,500. 20% for savings and debt repayments, that is equivalent to $1,000. Since we can only take money between our wants and needs, we may consider taking a certain percentage or amount to send to the Philippines. It could be a third of your 30% wants, which is 10%, or $500. You could also take them out from your 20% savings and debt repayments if you're pretty loaded up with savings and not debts. That's how you budget unless you have more to give, which is never a question because personal finance is called that for a reason. Listen up. Support starts with you, but it shouldn't end up with you being broke. If this helped you rethink how you send money back home, drop your own rule in the comments. Want to retire rich? Watch my Roth IRA vlog. Chasing your first 100K? I got you covered. I got a vlog on that too. Like, share, and subscribe for more tips, truth bombs, and tough love. Catch my channel, Beyond Bedside. This is Eddie, and I'll see you every Sunday, 9 a.m. PST.